Some of my earliest memories of art, I've been dancing in powwows since I was a baby, and my regalia and even my mom making things, my aunts making things, my grandma making things, sewing, beading, creating in those types of ways.
Hey guys, I'm Tiffany Bradley. Welcome to Colored Criticism. We're here at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and we're going to see the show, The Plains Indians, Artists of Earth and Sky. Our guest is going to be Chief Elk.
Oh, wow. Here's my home, Fort Belknap, my other family, the Lakota people.
Chief Elk is a Lakota writer, data artist, and activist. She'll be talking with us today about contrasts and continuities between Native art and culture reflected in the exhibition.
The headdress is really iconic and symbolic to a whole number of Plains people and Plains tribes. Feathers are used, both in social dance and ceremony and symbols of honor, and to see this now as this popularized white mainstream America fashion statement, I think has been a lot of violence on people. It is very interesting to see this, in the museum as an exhibit as well, because I feel like this is where also maybe lots of people get inspiration that they can actually just take this and replicate it and use it as a cheap fashion item.
But it's really an object of the present.
It's an object of the present.
There are examples of this where people are actually currently engaging with it.
In religious and sacred settings, and also like powwow and social settings. But even in social settings, there's lots of respect towards eagle feathers and what they mean and represent.
So it's great to situate this in social dancing, because there are actually some pieces coming up that also talk about powwows and social dancing and adornment in that way. So let's go. Can I ask about the cradle board? Because it's just beautiful. Like, the beading is beautiful, the colors are beautiful.
A whole variety of Plains peoples use the cradle board. It was a way to easily carry your child, but also keep them wrapped tight, which is even something that lots of practice
swaddling
today.
Is like way in vogue again.
Yes. Way in vogue.
So this is like the most stylish swaddling you could ever have.
It is very stylish swaddling. And it's really interesting to see this is 1890 with the beaded American flags on it. That is probably something then at the time whoever was doing this was witnessing. Maybe even that means that this had been when the reservation period had started, if that was something that was visual to them, that why there's American flags on this.
So actually
at this time period,
the flag is a new thing. The American flag is a new thing in the world at this time. At this time,
yeah. I had a cradle board, my brother had a cradle board, my newest niece, my brother's baby just had a fully beaded cradle board. It's funny that lots of our babies are totally decked out in this and moccasins already and other different things.
It's like Little Northwest, like how she gets to wear designer clothes for each fashion show. This is the best of Plains baby fashion.
The Plains baby fashion. And then again, it would have whatever symbols of your nation or clan, people, whatever, where you're from, it would be on that just as much it would be on the vest or the moccasins or whatever.
Let's move on to some modern beadwork.
These are beautiful.
So you were talking about how in previous pieces you could really see place and even familial specificity in the beadwork, but when you get to something like this, it's really different.
Yeah, so this is definitely a collision of tradition and contemporary and across centuries. Some of the traditional patterns, especially having a horse, and even you can see some of the lines at the bottom paired with these incredible high heels.
Which, we're all about incredible high heels.
We're all about incredible high heels.
So the title is Gifts for Trading Land with White People.
Yes, this looks like a whole host of things that represent kind of the destruction of a lot of sacred objects, destruction of ceremonial things, destruction of culture, how it's made and commodified, made a mockery out of. The plastic feathers, I think, is kind of what we mentioned earlier with the headdress. And it's really interesting too to kind of, match up a lot of what's been turned into, a mockery with things specifically in here. The Plains Indians, kind of the image of the Plains Indian, whether it is Nakoda, Lakota, Dakota, Crow, Blackfeet, Cree, because of the similarities, has really been the image of what people think of as the North American indigenous person.
Which isn't, there are so many other peoples. There are Native peoples who look like me, and yes.
There are Native peoples who look like you and are all different shades and eye colors and designs and different feathers, different housing establishments, different art, but this represents a lot of the violence done. People turned into objects.
Caricatures.
Things of the past, not just, I think, people of the past, but things and objects of the past that aren't here anymore. So this is how we kind of interpret and remember all of this now in a mainstream way.
Which isn't actually past.
It isn't actually past.
So we've just seen all this great art that really looks at different points in the Native experience. How do you see the interplay between Native peoples right now and art?
Now that we live in the digital era, in the social media era, there's so much Native art happening right now in a contemporary way. In addition to a lot of the continuation of, again, beading and quill work and painting and a lot of the traditional things. Cradle boards. All the important stuff. There's lots of activist art happening, activism through videos and spoken word to graphics and different pictures of depictions of things, both as, like I said, self-expression or things that have to do with activism and continued resistance. But there's lots happening right now among Native peoples using arts in those ways.
Thanks so much for joining us. For more on art, culture, and contemporary life, join us at coloredcriticism.com.